we'd like to welcome you to the first Life Force Connection webinar. It's Abby's live from Thailand, and I'm here in California, so welcome everybody to the call. We're going to go through a bit of a presentation and have some sharing and conversation, and we'll take some questions, partway through. I'd like to introduce Abby Gooch, who is the founder and CEO for Life Force Connection. She is an author of books and programs, and she's writing a book right now that she's going to talk about. She has 10+ years experience as an intuitive coach, teacher, and speaker. She ran her own successful company for over 10 years, and she has recently founded the State Certified Life Force Connection School, with which we teach our certification and intuitive success coaching programs. It's one of the things that we're going to discuss and talk about here today. So with that, Abby, why don't you take it away?
Awesome. Thank you, Sai. If you wouldn't mind just popping to the next slide, we'll go ahead and get started here with the program we have. So I just want to welcome everyone and first just say thank you, and it's always such a joy to connect with each of you at your Heart Center, and doing these calls really allows us to be able to do that. And so as we go through these slides, you're going to get to see my adventure here and the journey that I've had here in Thailand. And the biggest gift that I can give you today is the way into your heart. And what happens is when you connect to this place, it really is magical. And it's the first step to connecting with your intuition. I'm going to tell you each of the steps today, but the first one is really moving into your heart center. And for a lot of people, basically our society in America is very based and centered on the mind and how to think ourselves through problems and think our way down a certain path. But the reality is when we connect to our heart, we actually open a whole new realm of possibilities that is even beyond the intellectual understanding of the mind. And so when we enter this heart space, we not only connect the magic and the infinity of each possibility, each moment, we connect to each other in a way that's almost charming, right? It's almost like people start giving you things or coming up to you and asking you what you do or who you are because they feel you. So the easiest way to start to experience this is to start to feel other people's hearts. And so instead of looking directly at them, you start to feel them. And some of you may already be doing this in your lives already, but I would invite you to take it even deeper, to really stay there longer, to focus on their heart center and how that makes your heart feel, and then just let that energy expand. So it's a circulation. So it's given from your heart, then it's received by them, and then it's given back to you. And so the energetics of this creates this circulation, and that circulation actually creates a magnetic force, and it pulls together, right? So it brings it together. So that's why in this program we're going to be talking a lot about, your purpose and your passion and working in this heart center, because what's happening is as you stay in your heart, that vibration of love is going to draw things to you at a very quick speed. So, Sai, if you want to move to the next slide, I'll share this with you a little bit more. So this is actually a boat trip that I went to at Phi Phi Island here off of Phuket in Thailand, and they happened to find this oyster shell, which is funny because our meditation CD, Awaken to Your Inner Wisdom, is about an oyster shell, and about if you open it, there's a pearl inside, and that pearl is you. So I thought it was really funny that they found an oyster here, and it just reminded me that the power is really in our hands to make the choice to open our heart and see what's available there. And it does require something different. It requires faith and it requires trust, because again, it's not always going to be rational, and it's not always going to be appearance-based, but it is going to feel right, okay? And so as you follow the feelings that feel right, you're going to be in alignment with your intuition, which we're going to discuss further in the next few slides. So just the question to ask yourself, if your heart was an oyster and there was a pearl inside, would you be willing to open it? So I hope the answer is yes. Next slide, Sai. So this is a family that I met. This is actually obviously her, this is a mother and daughter, and brings a really good memory to me because I'm super close with my mom. She's one of my best friends, and so when I see relationships like this, it's always refreshing. And so something they say in Thailand a lot is same, same. I'm not sure why, they just say it a lot. And so I love this slide because it's just same, same, love wherever you go. And that really is what I found, you know, as soon as I arrived in Phuket, which was my first place in Thailand, is this love was just here. And, you know, I was halfway across the world, but I could still feel that love and that connection. And it was just such an inspiration to be writing my book on the universal language of love, because it was just so easy to find inspiration to write about, because these people are the most amazing culture that I've ever met. They are just so full of love and kindness, and the question they always ask me is, "You happy?" And it's just a reminder of, you know, self-checking in. You know, am I happy? Am I doing things to make myself happy? And they're just such great examples of that. So I've been super grateful for that. So next slide, Sai. And this was actually on a beach there off of Phuket. This is the entire family. So you see again the mother and daughter, and then that's Dom. Dom was the first person that I really met. He kind of became my tour guide for the island. And then the other man right behind him is actually the husband of the woman with her daughter. And then there's me. So this family was really incredible. I think it was the third or fourth day I was there. I ended up getting kind of sick. I ate something or drank something that didn't make me feel very good. And so my nose was running, and I remember just being so frustrated. I said out loud, I was like, man, I wish my nose would stop running. And so the little girl, well, not really a little girl, teenager, I think, she just turned to me and offered me something that they use to help their nose in Thailand. And it was just a small thing. It was a drop of something that you just inhaled. And I was like, oh, wow, that worked. It felt so good. I was just really excited, and it cleared my nose. So we just drove probably 15 to 20 more minutes, and they pulled off at a 7-Eleven. They actually have 7-Elevens in Thailand, too. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because I didn't think we needed anything. We already got snacks and water and everything. So I was like, what is she doing? So sure enough, within 5 minutes, she comes back, and she's like, you choose what color you want. And she had bought me the thing that her daughter had given me for my nose. And so it felt so amazing to know that, you know, wherever you go, people take care of you, and that the people really do heal you. And not only did they heal my nose, they actually really healed my heart in such a deep way, because I just felt that the unconditional love and sense of non-judgment was just so apparent, and reflecting that back on myself just really took me to a new level in my own relationship with myself, and now being able to share that love with you. So I'm just so grateful for this family and all that they taught me. And this is just Dom and I, new places and new friends. So what happened, I think it was the second night that I got there, is Dom offered to take me on a little tour excursion to one of the islands. So Phuket is the biggest island in Thailand, and then there's teeny tiny islands all around it. And one of the islands he offered to take me to was Koh Hanoi. And it was just this very small island with very few tourists. So we were able to just experience what, you know, the culture was like, and to really dive straight into the natives, right, and work with them. And it was funny because we originally planned to go to Phi Phi Island, which I'll show you later. And at the last minute, he asked if I would be willing to go here. And, you know, of course I was all about going with the flow, and as we were driving, I realized that that's really what my soul had wanted, was to move into that space of seeing what life was truly like there, rather than just being a tourist. So we enjoyed, he had a little motorbike, so we went around the island a few times and ate at different places. We stayed in a bungalow. I don't have a picture here, but we do on my Facebook page. And bungalows are just very simple. You know, they have straw on the top, and, you know, no air conditioning or anything, but it's where they stay. It's where they live, and no matter what, these people are just so happy. So it's always fun to just reflect the inner and outer beauty of Thailand. So these women are just beautiful people, as you can see, and the reason I wrote the ripple effect of kindness, how many hearts can you touch with one smile, is these people, I would walk by them every single day and smile, and they gave so much love back to me every day that you could not help but be happy, because they were always just smiling like this and seeing how they could help you and just truly beaming with so much light and love. And I realized that, you know, the more I would give to them, they would give back even more than I could possibly think of. So I just wanted to include this slide because I feel like so often we don't realize the simple small things and how important they are. And if we just take the time to smile to a stranger or to reach out to a friend, how much of an effect that has. And as I've been, you know, diving into their culture, I've been learning more about Buddhism. And one of the things they really focus on is karma, and what you put out, you get back. And I have just seen that time and time again of, you know, putting out whatever I have to give or whatever I'm inspired to give, and just seeing how it's, you know, coming back to me, you know, tenfold almost instantly. So it's just been a really fun experience to learn firsthand and see how fast the energy works. And again, it's the same as how we started this slide, is, you know, sending your love out and having it come back. It's that reciprocal energy effect, that attraction. So, you know, karma is just an example of that. So as we put this good out in the world, we're able to attract more good back. And of course, put a focus with that. And as we put the focus with that, we're able to attract it even faster, specifically what it is that we want. So go ahead and add the next slide. Sorry. So that's where creating what you desire from your center comes. So you want to have this energy flow, so knowing what you give comes back to you, knowing that you have this good karma, and then you want to set an intention. You want to have a focus. So as you set that intention or focus, you may want to think about something right now that you would like to create in your life. It may be more money. It may be a very divine relationship, whether it's a partnership or a friendship. It may be traveling the world. It may be having better health, or anything like that that feels authentic to you. Go ahead and think what that intention is and just feel it in your heart and just let it percolate. And we're going to keep moving through those steps of how you can bring that into manifestation and really create what was once an idea into a tangible reality. So this actually was one of my ideas. I absolutely love teal aqua water. I think it is the most beautiful color of water and color in general. And I have been wanting to, you know, travel the world for years now, and it was just the right time. So I have had this love kind of brewing in my heart for about a year since I started writing my books, and really feeling my need to connect internationally. And so as I have been thinking about this and feeling this energy in my heart, I started drawing different experiences to me, some of which, you know, people are on the call today, the marketing team that I work with, able to take me to the next level for my company. You know, the ability to, you know, have enough money to buy a plane ticket to come across the world, and then have all these people come in side by side, just ushering me into a new level of energy without me even asking. And so I know that this has all been happening because of my ability to stay in my heart, and it's really just a choice, and it's something we can all do. It's just an awareness. So the goal here is to create what you desire from your center. So we moved into your heart. Now I want you to take your energy down from your heart into your center. So your center is usually a couple inches below your belly button. Most people usually feel their center at their gut. Okay, so this instinctual knowing would be similar to a mother and a child. If something was to happen to her child, her instinct would be to, you know, go help her child. Or maybe your instinct, if you're walking down a dark street, would be to turn the opposite way, because that probably wouldn't feel very safe. Okay, so it's very basic, but it's also very profound. So the key with staying in your center is following it. I absolutely know that everybody has your center, your intuition, your knowing. It's just a matter of following it. And so most people, you know, get sometimes sidetracked by fear or doubt or other emotions, which we'll talk about later and see if there's any of those blocking you. But for the most part, if you just go straight to your center, you will always be aligned with the highest and best step, your next step. So if you want to just move to the next slide, Sai, we'll go ahead and start clearing some of those blocks that might be in people's way. And before we do that, I just want to just mention really quick, when you're connecting to your center, you want to also have a center place physically. So for the Thai people, it's the temple. So the country is 98% Buddhist, and so they go to temple to gather their energy, to center, to focus on something they believe in and bring that energy into a focus point, very similar to how I'm teaching you right now. So for you, you may go to a river or a lake or a tree or the ocean or somewhere where you feel very safe and centered, and find that place and let that sacred time, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day, be where you connect with you, just between you and Source. And as you do that, you'll start to feel more grounded in who you are. Because as you start moving forward in alignment with your dreams, you will need to navigate your way, okay? You'll need to feel it in your core and navigate your way to the next step, okay? For me, you know, I lived in La Jolla, California for the past year and had a beautiful home on the beach, you know, wood floors, you know, tile countertops, everything that felt very safe and grounded to me. And I remember about 3 months before I had made the decision to go to Thailand, or actually about the time I had made the decision, it took about 3 months to have it happen and actually manifest, that I ran into one of my spiritual teachers in the grocery store, and I remember her telling me, remember, take the groundedness you feel now and imagine living that way across the world when you don't have a home. And the funny thing is, I actually let my home go in La Jolla for a couple months until I return, and I'm experiencing what it's like to not have everything familiar and to not have that safety in what's familiar. And so I've moved inside, so that sense of groundedness becomes an inside job rather than an external reminder. So the way that each of you can do that is just 3 simple steps. You move from your head, all of your thoughts, everything that's going around and what you see with your eyes, straight to your heart, and just feel the expansion of love. So you can do this by thinking about somebody you love, thinking about something you love, imagining something that you would love to create. And as you expand that energy, you feel your heart opening. And then from that openness, you start to dive inside into your center, again, a couple of inches below your belly button, right to that gut feeling, that instinctual knowing, and you just settle there. And for a lot of people, they like to ground through their root chakra, through the base of their spine, and down through their legs and their feet. And then I like to imagine roots growing down the bottom of my feet where I'm feeling solid like a tree. So I feel that support from Mother Earth, knowing that wherever I go, I am grounded and supported. So it's the same for you. Whatever your journey is or wherever you're going, you are in alignment with Source and supported by the universe every step of the way. All you have to do is listen. Open your heart and listen to your knowing, and it will guide you. Go ahead and move to the next slide, Sai. And it will make you happy. I wanted to include this slide because I think it's just such a picture of just radiating happiness, and it's just, that's truly what happens when you are living from the inside out, and people feel it. So I just wanted to include that and then show you where we're going to go, which is right that little circle inside that cave. That's where we're headed with all those boats. And that's where we're going to get to the part of helping you clear any personal blocks. So the question I have for you is, how to break through blocks that are stopping you from having what you want now. So you may want to jot this down on a piece of paper. What is stopping me from having what I want right now? And you may get something like fear or doubt or money or I can't do it or my parents don't think I can, I don't have support, whatever it is, just write it down. And just write the question down and anything that comes, but make sure you have the question. What's stopping me from having what I want now? And what we'll do is we can revisit this, and you can revisit this process or take other classes that dive you deeper, but you just want to be aware of what your blocks are, and then you know you have the power to clear them. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you about blocks. Is it's almost like moving into a cave, right? So it's the dark spaces of your consciousness that you haven't seen before, and as you become aware of them, you shine light on them. And as you do that, you can transform them, okay? And that's what we help you do here at Life Course Connection, is we help you transform those fears through proven techniques and processes. And it's so much fun because you get to do it for yourself. We just show you how, and that's where the power is, because truly it is you doing the work. We just know the steps to get there. So, Sai, if you want to go ahead and do the next slide. We'll show you moving into the cave. All right, so here's entering the dark cave, yet the light is still there. So you're never separate from Source. You're never disconnected from yourself, from life, and really from love. For some of you who may or may not know me right now, or just getting to know me, I don't practice a specific religion, but I do practice spirituality. So when I say Source, it's just the way that you connect. And even a better word than Source for me is just love, right? Because at our core is who we are, and light represents that love. So I'm using light as the analogy as to when love or light shines on something, it actually transforms it, and it dispels the fear. It dispels anything that was untrue and reveals the truth. And that truth will absolutely set you free every single time. And the funny thing is, it takes courage to see truth. I'm really convinced that half the time we're afraid of our goodness. We're afraid that we're as good as we think we are. And the reality is we are that good. And when we accept that, that's when we can really shine the light on more people and help them. Okay, so the more you love yourself and the more you open to the truth within you, the more you can actually be of service. I feel like it's backwards sometimes, where people think we have to reach outside ourselves or give more. It's actually, as we see the light within us, we can help others. Okay, so you want to be able to do both, but my experience really has been to focus on how I can be the light for myself rather than change somebody else, because in reality the world's already perfect. And we just get to experience the expansion of love and living our dreams. And by doing that, we inspire other people. Okay. So here's what happens when you do that. You get to meet people from all over the world. This is really my first really big trip, but I have found so many people from all around the world, from Sweden to Europe to Australia. I mean, just about any continent, I feel, but maybe not that much, but a lot of people from different places. I think this woman's from Spain. These people were from Hungary. I mean, they're just different places from all over. So it's really a lot of fun to see where your heart expands and the people you meet when you allow your light to shine, and then just share that connection with them. So you can, maybe think about how you can do that in your life now. Where in your life would you like to shine more light? Who would you like to shine more light to? And as you do that, you'll notice you start to feel even happier. Okay. So pure happiness, what makes your heart happy? Obviously, being at this beach resort made my heart happy. And swimming, you can see I have a swimsuit on. Probably shouldn't keep this slide on too long, but pure happiness, it really comes from the heart. So what makes your heart happy? What gives you joy? So, this is really the foundation of the intuitive success coaching process, is because when you connect with your inner joy, you become that attractive force of light. It's almost like the igniter of the fire, of the fire of your passion is having this joy. So maybe take a moment to jot down, what gives me joy? What makes my heart happy? and just see what comes, and you can always add later, what truly makes my heart happy. And for some of you, it may be skydiving. For other people, it may be connecting with a friend. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is that it feels true to you, and it gives you a sense of lightness. So just give you a couple of minutes to do that. And so as you do, you will find that you can almost jump for joy, right? And you start to attract more people. Once again, you see here me jumping for joy with one of my friends. This man was actually from Morocco. I met him the night before I left Phuket. And I don't even remember how. Oh, I think I went swimming with another friend and I was walking down the street, and he showed me how to take pictures with my camera for the sunset, and we just had a great old time. But that's how fast it happens when you give yourself permission to follow your joy. And again, in the American society, there's so much structure said about going to work and having to do things a certain way that I think creates a lot of limitations for people, and they start to think they can't do what their spirit, what their heart is calling them to do in every moment. But if you just listen to your heart, drop into your knowing, and act on it, I promise you it will always be okay, and it will be better than okay. It will be abundance. It will be an abundance of love, joy, and money, because you're living in integrity with your heart, with your spirit. And that's really the goal here, because again, the spirit is infinite, and it really passes that intellectual understanding of your mind, and you will start to see miracles. I absolutely promise you that. This whole trip has been a miracle, so I absolutely know that for you. So maybe think about, what miracle you'd like to see in your life. And I'll just send some heart energy that way, and we'll just let that ripple effect of love just continue to play out in your life. Because, the synergy we're all creating with each other here tonight is creating a deeper expansion and just more of an expansion, because we're all focused on the same thing, that being expanding our heart's desires and creating what we want. So this is how they travel in Thailand, getting around in Thailand. You see him on a motorbike, and it's a lot of fun. There's also cars in the background, so they do have cars. It's the opposite side as America, but the motorbikes are really the most fun. You just get the wind in your face, and you just get to feel like you're flying. So definitely super fun. If you ever go to Thailand, definitely rent a motorbike or find a friend that has one. Definitely brought me a lot of joy. And this is the beautiful Maya Beach. It's another teal waters, and this is where we did a lot of snorkeling, and it was just super fun. I wanted to include this because there's just such clarity in this water, and I feel that when we stay in our hearts and move from our centers, there is such a clarity that becomes unstoppable. And so people can look in your eyes and just know. I know that a lot of my experiences here in Thailand, I haven't been able to speak hardly any Thai except hello and thank you. But just looking at people directly in the eye, they feel me and they know, and they just know, right? And I know it's because of that alignment that, I've worked for 10 plus years on, but it's that expression that's shared and the clarity that's felt. There's no question. So my invitation for you is to have that clarity for yourself. If you have any questions about anything in your life, to really trust yourself and move into your knowing, and you can always get a yes or no response. So a yes usually feels light, and a no usually feels heavy. The lightness is uplifting, the heavy is more constricting. So you can ask yourself those questions and then go to your knowing and feel what's really true for you, regardless of appearances or judgments or what you think the answer should be. Really feel what's true and then act in alignment with that, and you will get this clarity, just like you can see this crystal clear water. So everything needs love. You can't argue with that, right? It's the food of the universe. This was such a fun experience feeding this elephant. I freaked out because they mean prosperity, which I love, having lots of money. And I just think the elephants are so cute, especially babies. So we were driving up to a temple with the family that I introduced you to. And there was little baby elephants, and I just was like, oh my gosh, can we go see the elephants? And so they're like, yeah. So we hopped out of the car, and they were taking pictures and video cameraing. And this is actually a really good picture, but I got a little scared and ran away in the other pictures. I just didn't show you those. But this was so much fun once I got comfortable with, putting the milk in the elephant. And they had, like, man, I think I don't know, 20 or 30 bananas that I gave him. These elephants eat a lot. They're big, so I guess that's why they eat a lot. But it was just super fun. I can't really explain it other than, share this picture with you and hope that you feel it. It's just such an incredible connection to work with both the people and the animals at the same time and not be speaking the language. It's pretty incredible. But the elephant is smiling, so I think he's happy. And really the reason I said everything needs love is, that milk. Food is love. Money is love. If we start looking at everything as love, our relationships are loving expressions, then it becomes much easier for us to attract those in. So if you're having any blockages in any of those areas, money, love, relationships, health, just love it more. The more you love it, again, the more that attraction factor will happen because you're sending love to it, and then that love will come back. So you just really want to play there. All right, so this is beautiful Phuket. This is actually the beach right across from where I was staying. A little windy that day, but beautiful nonetheless. All right, so this has to be one of my favorite parts of Thailand. Loving life is like eating a coconut shake. So basically they open raw coconuts, crack them open, take some of the inside meat from it and the coconut milk and cream and then blend it up with ice. And all their ice is filtered now. And it is just so wonderful. It's just healthy, refreshing, rehydrating, and it just reminds you that you really are on a tropical island halfway across the world. So definitely recommend that if you guys all go to Thailand. Again, finding something you love. Find the small things. It will make your heart happy. This is just a brief picture of one of the places I visited. It's actually off of James Bond Island. There was a movie filmed there in 1974, a James Bond movie, and so now they have tours going there with hundreds of people every day visiting this island, and it's very beautiful. Again, if you go to my Facebook page, Abby Gooch, you can see all these pictures, but this is just one of them, and we saw a little, what I call crocodile, but I guess it wasn't. It was much smaller than a crocodile, but it looked like a crocodile, so I felt like I was on a movie. Your imagination can do whatever it wants, but just beautiful nonetheless. I wanted to share that with you. And this is actually sunset at one of the islands that we visited when I was with the man I introduced you to, Dom, my tourist guide friend. Just so beautiful. The tide was out, so you can see the reflection on the sand and the water. Just one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And I wanted to include this because this is really the reminder of finding light within and then following the light, right? So connecting to your core like I've taught you and then following what feels good, following the light, following the uplifting feeling and the beauty and the love. And as you do that, how could you not be aligned with the light? You're aligned with light, so you're constantly moving on that path of your highest potential and rewarded in so many beautiful ways. So it's so simple, but just do it. Just do it. All right, next slide. I want to make sure we have enough time for you to sign. All right, so where is your paradise? So what is your dream, your vision, and your aspiration? I remember looking at these palm trees in this little hammock and just being like, wow, I'm really here. It's like once you find yourself living your dreams, you really just have to take it in. And so that's where all of you will be as you continue in these courses and learning more about this work, because it's just the way life is meant to work. Your good really is waiting for you, and it's really just your choice to listen to your heart, trust your knowing, and move. Take action. So just take a moment right now to write down, what is my dream? What is my vision? What is my aspiration? Just write the question down and let it quick response come to you now and fill in the details later. But again, what is my dream, my vision, my aspiration? What do I see myself becoming more of? And breathe into it. Really feel the life force behind it and feel the support as you write it. Feel the positive energy behind it and know that there's positive energy behind it and in front of you. You just have to keep following the light. Go ahead and move to the next slide. Yeah, awesome. All right, so as you do that, I feel like you're making a wish, right? So you're like, here's my dream, here's my vision, here's my aspiration, but I don't really know how. Well, that's okay, because remember, it's beyond your intellectual understanding anyways. So to lighten the energy, I just say make a wish. And obviously the Thai people agree with me, because this is a tradition they have where they actually light these magic lanterns and you make a wish, and it's for good luck. And so you can all make a wish right now, and you'll see the magic lantern and the picture floating up. And what I really love about this picture is, I'm not sure if you can see it, there's actually little dots, little orbs of energy. And I find this every once in a while when I'm taking photographs, that you can actually see the energy moving because it's so powerful. It's such a high vibration. And so here, those little orbs are representing or showing that the energy is moving, that lightness is moving upwards. So just knowing that you're always surrounded by these light particles and all this energy moving for your good, doesn't that feel amazing? I think it's awesome. I remember when I first started seeing energy when I was about 12 years old, I'd look up into the sky and see the energy, actually moving, the teeny tiny particles, and I was like, wow, energy really is real, and that's when I began my study of it. So just really trust it and know it, and as you learn more about our classes, you'll learn about the science of it and why it really works. But for now, just trust and move into the magic of trust. And all you got to do is follow your intuition, bringing it all together. So we have you moving from your head to your heart to your knowing, crystal clear waters, knowing exactly what your focus and your intention is, being so clearly aligned as you move forward in alignment with your dreams, your vision, and your aspirations. I just love this picture. It's so beautiful. Just like you all. And remember to dream big, okay? As you can see, there's so much support. These are all Buddhas, and I will tell you, these are all solid gold, by the way. It's just such a prosperous temple. All of it is so beautiful. But I want to share with you the first time I stepped in this temple. This is actually the Chelong Temple. There's a series about, I think, 5 different houses that have all these Buddhas and temples and different masters in them. But the first one I stepped in, I followed the tradition, which is you give them a donation and you get some flowers and then some incense and burn that, and you actually give your flower to the Buddha as an offering, and then you come out and they have holy water and you put holy water on yourself and then you're blessed. So as I was sitting in front of the Buddha, I remember hearing so clearly, I want for you what you want for yourself. And for whatever reason, I had had a block before, thinking that maybe the universe didn't really want me to have what I wanted, or there was something against me, or maybe I just wasn't perfect enough. But as I heard those words so crystal clear, I really knew that I was so on the right path and that the universe really did want everything for me. And so, again, a tradition of the Thai people is when you go in front of the Buddha, Don told me to ask for your dream. He's like, your dream, just do what your dream is. So my dream was to be very, very, very wealthy, to make tons of money so I could help more people. And so it was the funniest thing. As I was walking up to the Buddhas, we were supposed to put these little gold squares on the Buddhas to just represent our offering. So the Buddhas, the gold, as I stuck it on the Buddha, it kept sticking back to me. The gold kept sticking all over my fingers, and I was like, this is really funny. And so my friend was helping me, and then finally I got mine on, and then more gold was just flowing at me from other people that had put their gold on. And I walked away with gold just flowing all over my hands, being attracted to me. And I was like, wow, the universe really does want me to have this. So I just think it's so fun for us to really embrace the truth and ask for a source to guide us and life to show us opportunities that it really is here to help us and support us, and for us to be bold and have the courage to really dream big, knowing that, your dream's going to be a part of you, and it is a part of you now. So the more you focus on it, the more it comes into your actual reality. So real quick before I do this slide, go ahead and just jot down what is my biggest dream, and you can answer it later, but really just want you to expand on that because there's so much support for you here. You know, the whole Life Force Connection team, the whole universe, your friends, your family, it's just all here for you. So just write down, if I knew I was supported, what is my biggest, wildest dream? And just jot that down for yourself. Don't even have to share it with anybody right now, just for you to know. Okay, and the next, you know, part that I want to share with you is really staying in this language of love, right? Because as you stay in your heart, you become the gift, okay? Your dream becomes the gift. Because most likely your dream, if not all of your dreams, will contribute to the betterment of the planet in some way. Because one other secret I will tell you, fulfillment will always include contribution. It will always include making somebody else's life better. It's just the way we're wired. I know there's some movie out about it now, but it's just the way that we are. As we help another, we're actually helping ourselves because we're all one. So when you stay in your heart, you become the gift. And that gift becomes your fulfillment. It actually becomes your purpose. So the goal is to find your purpose, okay? And we won't have time to do that in this program, but we do teach that in our next class where you can really start to move in to what your specific purpose is, what your heart call is, and your greater contribution. So if you're ready for that, I definitely invite you to go to our next course that we have, our 4-series class. And even better than that, the in-person class is phenomenal. If you want to go ahead and move to the next slide, Sai. Language of love, baby. All right, so this woman changed my life. She's probably about my age, I'm not sure. She looks about my age, but I met her. She was one of the women that you saw when I said the ripple of kindness, how that... There was something, again, about her eyes. Remember how I talked about when you just look in the eye, her eyes or each other's eyes, and you see that clarity? So this woman, we kept exchanging those glances and, you know, that heart connection. And the day before I left, she was actually walking on the beach, and I was walking there too. And I'm just, you know, kind of in my own little world, and I hear, Abby, Abby, and she's like waving her hands up and down, and I'm like, who in the world is that? Like, you know, kind of over my fears, because when I first got to Thailand, I was a little worried, you know, that people were going to, I don't know, do something to me because it was a new country, none of which they did. They didn't, in fact, the opposite. But anyways, I saw her, and I was like, what in the world? So I walk up to her, and I realized, she's like, it's Nat, it's Nat. So she was the woman that worked at the hotel. So anyway, she's like, do you want to go swimming? Do you want to swim with us? And as you can see, I did not have my swimsuit on, but I was like, oh, what the heck? I'm in Thailand, sure. And she's like, oh, you're sexy, you're beautiful, just go in like that. And I was like, okay, I'm going in. So we dove in and went surfing with her and her friend and had the best time. Met the man that you saw me jumping with for joy. So it's just super fun. So we had a great afternoon swimming, and the water there is just, man, it's probably 80, 90 degrees. It's like a bathtub. It's just beautiful. So I just felt cleansed and purified by the salt water and just had a wonderful time. And so what you saw in the slide right before that, if you just want to pop back one slide, just backwards, this little box, this is something she gave to me. So we went swimming. I went to the hotel to get ready to check out for the next day, and the lady hands me this box, and I'm like, wow, who could that be from? And then I felt her spirit, you know, just dancing free in the generous heart that she was, and I knew it was from her, and I opened it, and she'd actually given me this really beautiful silver bracelet, and I can't tell you the feeling, but hopefully you can just feel it in your heart from mine. It was just this connection beyond words, to hardly know somebody but to have such love be given to you. It just really brought tears to my eyes, because I just felt like it was just the tipping point of so many experiences I had had this for 10 days in Phuket, of just people really feeling the love I had to give and giving it back. And so I just really am speechless that there's such a depth of love and understanding and kindness in this country. So I just wanted to share that with you. So this is just the message that I want to start closing my part of this slideshow with, is you must be the change you wish to see in the world. And again, this is just where I'm just so humbled, because I feel these people have taught me so much. I came here to give my love and to learn and to become a better teacher. And the best way I've been able to do that is, like I said, to go in and dive within my own heart and with my own being and connect with that deeper love and connection to Source. And as I've been doing that, the miracles continue, and I am just so grateful. And I hope that I can serve as an inspiration to you to move into the deepest levels of your being, because the deeper you dive, the higher you fly. And if you can just remember that when the times get rough or the way seems dark, that underneath that there is a pearl. If you just open that oyster, it's there waiting for you. And that really is my greatest wish for you.